What's up guys, it's Lord Botha here with another video, and just months after being launched, XDefiant for Ubisoft is already facing trouble. This comes to us from Insider Gaming. Exclusive XDefiant on borrowed time as player numbers decline rapidly. According to several sources at Ubisoft San Francisco has until the end of Season 3 of XDefiant to improve the game's bleak player numbers. XDefiant was all abuzz when it launched in May of 2024, exceeding 1 million unique players in its first 2.5 hours, and exceeding 8 million players in its first week. But now, just 6 weeks from its Q1 financial report, Ubisoft HQ wants player numbers to increase by Season 3 or XDefiant risks losing its much-needed post-launch support. Oh yeah, that's a great idea with your new launch game. Hey, we just launched a live service first-person shooter game. How about we just stop giving it support within its first year? Internally, optimism for the game has shifted primarily due to the game's continuously declining player numbers and lack of player spending. So not only are people not playing this game, they're also not spending money on the in-game stuff when they are playing this game. So things like skins for your weapons or your characters, power-ups, boosts, whatever, people just aren't doling out their cash for it. That's the thing about these live service games is most of them are free to play. The thing that comes with it is they are essentially an advertisement for themselves, for you to continuously buy new add-ons. One could say that by following this model, the gaming industry is unwisely moving not just into the gaming sphere, but also the advertising business. And that's a lot more difficult space to be in, especially when you rely on the gameplay as being the primary driver of selling those add-ons. One source told me that the game has been struggling to obtain 20,000 concurrent players across all platforms, whereas another said they, Ubisoft, would probably be happy with that number, suggesting that it's now much lower. It's not like Ubisoft San Francisco isn't already feeling the pressure. Earlier this month, Ubisoft cut 45 jobs at its San Francisco, California, and North Carolina offices. That's right, these are part of the rounds of layoffs that went through earlier at Ubisoft. As for XDefiant's future, leadership is betting all their money on Season 3 to turn things around. But with Call of Duty Black Ops 6 set to release between Seasons 2 and 3, those I spoke to are feeling pessimistic about the game's future. One source even went as so far to say, expect more Ubisoft San Fran layoff headlines within 6 months. So that is a grim future they're looking at there. They're having to rely on Season 3 to essentially justify keeping the game open in terms of supplying more live service content. And one of the most highly anticipated games of the year that is in the same vein as them is dropping in between Season 2 and the Season 3 that they need to perform very well. If I can be honest with you though, I'm not really shocked at this news. Listen, I'm the kind of gamer that first-person shooter games like this, even for their multiplayer, I was never a big fan of. I was never that guy who was buying every single new Call of Duty that rolled out. The last Call of Duty first-person shooter game that I think I bought was World at War. So I'm going to give you my very outsider, normie opinion about this, and hopefully that puts some more fresh perspective and eyes on it. And I can tell you from a more macro outside level, this game has fallen into a classic business blunder. XDefiant for Ubisoft is a new untested brand from a company that has never done these kinds of games before. First-person shooters and live service multiplayer games have never been the bread and butter of Ubisoft. And Call of Duty is the Walmart of this space. They are the brand everybody recognizes. They are the one that everybody's going to go to, even if the game sucks, because they're the well-known brand. They're out there. They're producing all the time. They've had many hits, far enough to justify the misses. So much so that they're up there kind of with like EA Sports. We know the next iteration of Madden is just going to be the same old shit that we've gotten year after year after year, but people pick it up anyway and it sells like hotcakes. Why? Because they're the most well-known brand. They've been around for a very long time, and like I said, they've produced a lot of hits. XDefiant for Ubisoft is the new untested brand. Not only that, but they bungled their launch. They made messes and missteps where they didn't have to, and customer acquisition, when those two things are apparent in your business, is extremely difficult. You have to have a niche. You have to have a gimmick. You have to have a point of view that stands out. or people are just not going to pick up your game. They won't buy the product that you're selling. Fortnite does really well in this live service space because even though they're not a first-person shooter like Call of Duty is obviously a rival for them. Many normies that play these games play both games, and Fortnite still does real well compared to things like Warzone, Apex. Why? Because they have their own niche style and their ability to get licensing deals that provide a plethora of very well-known brands within their game. They have their own niche, their own setup. Everybody knows what you're getting, and it's appealing to a mass audience. What about XDefiant sets it apart from other games and is appealing to a mass audience that normies will instantly connect with when they see it? The answer is not much. And at the end of the day, that's why this game isn't selling well. That's why players aren't continuing to play it. And it's why eventually this game is going to fail and its service support is going to end. But those are just my thoughts on XDefiant. If you have your own thoughts, go ahead and drop them in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, appreciate you listening to all of it. We'll talk to you again later.